Assalamu alaikum. So alhamdulillah, Council on American Islamic Relations is here tonight for our entire program, and I want to introduce Jinan Shabat from CARE.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank Colin and Al-Hijrah for their hospitality this evening, as well as Marihan from Mass Pace for their support in this event. Earlier we held a small workshop on the Muslim Ban 2.0. We had a little bit of Q&A, and now it is my honor to introduce the Attorney General of Virginia, Mark Herring. He became the 48th Attorney General on January 11th, 2014. Among his accomplishments, he has been working to keep Virginia families safe and providing legal services to the Commonwealth. He has been fighting for justice, equality, and opportunity for all Virginians. And so it is my honor now to introduce the Honorable Mark Herring, Attorney General of Virginia, for a few remarks.
Assalamu alaikum. Some of you may remember the Friday after the November election last fall, I stood right here. I came here because I knew that many communities in Virginia and elsewhere were feeling really vulnerable. And I had an important message, and that was that as Attorney General, I am here to defend and protect the rights and civil liberties of all Virginians, including minority communities, no matter what you look like, what your background is, and how you worship. And since then, I have been continuing that promise to stand up and fight for all Virginians and their rights. And I'm going to continue to do that. From the first moment President Trump issued the executive order, I could see it for exactly what it was. And I am really proud that Virginia has been leading the way in the fight against this ban. And I'm really glad to have an opportunity to share with you a few of the reasons why I thought it was so important for me as Attorney General in Virginia to be fighting the ban, and then just kind of tell you a little bit about the things that we've done and where things stand now. You may remember Dulles Airport was one of the epicenters of all of this as the travel ban unfolded. And I was there the Saturday after the executive order was issued. I saw the chaos firsthand. I saw how families were being ripped apart, and it was heartbreaking. I will never forget an Iranian woman, when she heard that I was the Attorney General, kind of pushed through the crowd and grabbed my coat and said, "Please help me. They have my 5-year-old son and won't tell me anything." I'm a parent, many of you are parents, and she was understandably distraught, and it was hours before she was reunited with her son. And so one of the reasons that I felt it was so important to fight the ban is because I saw how it was ripping families apart here in Virginia. Another reason is because I could see real harm being done to Virginia. We had college students, one of them you may remember, Najwa Eliazgi. She was a senior at George Mason, was visiting family overseas, and then got stranded in Turkey and couldn't get back. And for 5 days, she didn't know what to do. We had professors, we had students, researchers who had to cancel plans to travel to present their research and their work. We had businesses with employees who were highly skilled, who couldn't travel, couldn't have family come over and visit. So there was real harm to Virginia and to businesses. But there were some other really important reasons too. and that is that I could see the impact it was having on minority communities here in Virginia, because this ban was rooted in religious bigotry, and when the government singles out for discrimination one group of people because of how they worship, it strikes at the very heart of who we are as Americans, and it is wrong. And I could see and feel the pain that you and many other minority communities, because we know an attack on one is an attack on all. And there have been so many interfaith gatherings to show support and solidarity. And so, those are the reasons why I thought it was important. And the last one is that this kind of religious discrimination goes to the very heart of who we are as Americans. Our Constitution guarantees that everyone will be treated equally under the law, and that no one will be held back by the government because of how they worship, what their skin color is, or what their background is. So those are all the reasons why I knew it was important to get in this fight. So what did we do about it? Well, I told you I was right there at Dulles Airport when this was happening. As soon as the executive order was issued, I saw it for what it was. I told my legal team, we have to get to work, and we have to get to work right away. So there was a case filed in the Eastern District of Virginia. As Attorney General, I joined that fight on behalf of Virginia and everyone in the Commonwealth. We joined that suit, and we won. We won and we got the first preliminary injunction against the ban in the country. And the judge ruled that we were likely to win because the ban was based on religious discrimination, which is prohibited by the Constitution. And that was an extraordinary finding. But that's what the evidence showed, is that it was rooted in religious bigotry and religious discrimination. At the same time, Washington won the case out on the West Coast. And so those cases stopped that initial ban. Then President Trump came back with a more tailored, pared-down version of the ban. And then there were additional lawsuits filed in Hawaii, in Washington, and in Maryland. And we won again. We were a part of those cases, and I am really proud that the case that we had and the decision we got here in the Virginia case was one of the foundations of the decisions in those court cases in Hawaii and in Maryland. Now, there's another temporary restraining order on the travel ban 2.0, and so right now most of the operational effects are stopped, but we know that the legal effort is going to continue. And just today, the Trump administration announced that they were appealing the Maryland decision to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond. And even before that appeal was filed, I anticipated that's what the administration would do, so I had already told my legal team, get to work, we're going to need to file briefs in that case because it's coming. And so I also reached out to my counterpart in Maryland, Brian Frosch. And so the two of us are going to take the lead in filing briefs in that case as it goes up on appeal. So I want to leave you and conclude with one last message, and I want to be crystal clear about it. As Attorney General, I will do everything in my power to protect your rights and your civil liberties and the rights and the civil liberties of all Virginians, and I will do everything in my power to keep you, your families, and all Virginians safe. No matter what you look like, what your background, how you worship, you have a place here in the Commonwealth. You belong here. We are all Virginians, and we are all Americans. It's great to see you all tonight, and we will continue to stand together.